Hello and welcome back. So I actually have a fun one today. It's actually a stock research tool. It's a very quick and dirty way to look up a stock really quickly to see maybe the high end and the low end of the stock for the next year. If you're interested in seeing what that's all about, stay tuned and we'll get into it. So a really simplistic answer of what this actual tool does is it's going to show you a visual representation of what the high value might be in the next year, what the low value might be, and then the medium value. So it gives you kind of numbers, just real numbers, like the stock's going to go this high or it's going to go that low. And on top of it, it also gives you a bunch of analysts that look at it. You know, there might be 10, 20, 30, 2 actually in some cases. There's only 2 analysts looking at a stock, and they're going to vote on it, whether it's a hold, a buy, a sell, things like that. So basically, you've seen a lot of these tools. This one actually, I think, does it the best. You probably know about this, but again, if you don't, go ahead and add it to your tools and just use it as one of the things that you kind of research. Really quickly, if you guys can subscribe to my channel, I have less than 100 subscribers. I have about 50 videos now. Just trying to build this up, trying to get to that 1,000 subscriber mark. If you like what you see, I'm going to make a lot more of these. I usually make 2 videos a week, one on the tech side, one on the financial side. So just if you can go ahead and click the like button and the subscribe, that'll really help me out. In all my videos, I tell people to do their own research. Don't take one of these systems and then go buy a stock with it. Always look at a ton of different techniques when you're buying stocks. I'm just giving you guys these tips and these little websites and things just to kind of add to your whole portfolio of ways you research. So just obviously, I just want to say that one last time. If you go in here and the stock looks like it's going to go way up, don't go and buy it until you do other research, because you always have to add at least, I would say, 5 to 10 different ways of researching a stock before you actually go out and buy it. If you don't do that, you're going to run into some problems down the line, and it's only going to be your fault. All right, so without actually getting into too much detail, I'm going to go ahead and show you now visually on this. So stay tuned and we'll go ahead and show you on the screen here. All right, so here's the link up here you can actually go to and go ahead and take a look at it really quickly. I'm going to show you this really quick because it's obviously really easy to use this tool. There's not much to it, but go ahead and write that or pause the screen right now and get this link, write it down, put it somewhere safe. You can always get back to this website. So anyways, I have a couple stocks in there right now. I'm going to go ahead and pull them up. So the tool is actually from CNN, believe it or not, and actually the link again is up here. And at the very end of the link, it's going to have an equals symbol, equals, and then the stock actual symbol. So in this case, it's BABA, B-A-B-A, which is Alibaba. But you could put in any stock you want up there, which I'll show you, like Facebook or, Duke, which is D-U-K, and then it'll actually change to the screen. That's the easiest way to do this. You can actually search from their screen as well, but it's a little bit harder to find. So anyways, when we get into here, this is what the tool basically does. So we're looking up Alibaba Group Holding Company, which is obviously BABA. And the cool part about this, it's under their forecast section. If you go in here, it actually has all their charts are really interesting. They'll give you a range of the high end, which is going to be up here, and the low end, which is going to be down here, and then the medium. And if you look at certain stocks, some of them have such wide-ranging things, obviously. You have to then come down and look at all the analyst recommendations, which I'll get into here in a second. But basically on this stock, super interesting, because if you look at this stock, it's basically at 186.50 right now, and they're projecting it to go to 1375 with a high of 1913 and a low of 828. So they're saying the low is going to be 828, which is 344% increase. They're saying the high is going to be 926% increase. Now, granted, I'm not telling you to buy the stock. Do your own research. Again, this could be totally wrong, but this is one that was kind of way out there. I mean, this just tips my interest, and I'm actually thinking, is this a good stock to buy? Should I maybe look more into this? Why are they doing this? So then I come down to the analyst recommendations down here, and it says there's among 50 polled investment analysts. So this one had 50 people looking at this, and it says it's a buy. And if you look down here and you hold over your mouse onto this screen here, it'll tell you 44 of the 50 analysts think it's a buy, 4 think it's going to outperform, 1 is a hold, and there's 0 underperform and 0 sell, which is crazy. So again, this is something that you have to take a look at, but it does pique my interest. And with this type of a stock, I look at this and I'm going to do more research on this. Let's go into another stock, Duke Energy, which is DUK. Again, I just type in equal DUK on that link, click enter, and it comes up with Duke Energy Corp. That's the one I wanted to see. It's at 90.11 right now. This one's a little bit more in the ballpark of what you typically would see. So here's at 90.11. It looks like the next 12 months it's saying it could stay about the same. 92 is the median, but it could actually go as high as 105, they think, or as low as 80. So it kind of gives you a range on where that stock might actually end up. And so you got to keep, when you're researching this, that gives you kind of a good range, 80 to 105, about a 20 to 30% difference, 25% difference, somewhere in that range. Then you go down to the analyst recommendations. They had 18 people look at this stock. And again, if you hold over this here, it'll say 7's a buy, 1 is outperform, 11's hold. So there's a lot of people in the middle, and then there's a 1 sell. And but again, I'm looking at this stock. This has actually got a good dividend. This stock, I think it's like 4.5%, 5%. But this is a stock that I might look at because obviously there's a lot of people looking at it, and it does give it a pretty good rating overall. Let's do one last one of a stock people would actually know about, Facebook. And if we go ahead and type Facebook in up there, same thing here. It's at 174. Now this stock's a little bit interesting because this doesn't give you a lot to go on. It looks like it's a high of 275. It looks like it's a medium of about $200, and it looks like it's a low of 120, so a negative 31.4%, or a high of 57%. So there's a big range here, and so now you have to kind of dig in and do your own research. This one actually had 49 people look at it, and if I mouse over it, it does have a lot of people that say buy it. A lot of people outperform, and still some people say hold, and only 1 sell. So again, I'm looking at that, and I think this stock might go up. But again, you have to do that research, and you have to make sure that you look at everything, multiple different ways before you go ahead and pull the trigger on any stock. All right, so really quickly, I did the last one as Verizon Communications, 59.13. This stock's interesting because it looks like it does have a little bit lower of a downside. So if you look at this graph, the pie up here says it can go about 9.9% up. Its median is about 3.2% higher than what it is now, but it does have a 15.4% downside. As you can see, this pie on the downside is bigger than the pie on the upside. If you go down here, it does look like a lot of people, though, are actually saying to buy it or hold it, basically. So it's one of those stocks that's kind of in between. When you do your research on this, sometimes the analyst recommendations don't exactly match up here, the stock forecast price. But again, I've seen stocks that have a ton of people saying don't buy, and then it's got a big downside to it. So I usually, obviously, I'll still do research, but I might stay away from that one. So anyways, I hope this did help a little bit. It's basically just a quick and dirty way to look at stocks. Obviously, this is not the only thing you should ever do, but it's just one way of doing it, and hopefully it'll help you out a little bit just when you do your research. All right, again, so if you actually watch my channels, you know that I just kind of give little tips here and there. This is another one. It's not going to be meant to, I don't want comments coming back saying, oh, that's a stupid tool or you should never do. Obviously, this is just one little tip just to show people that I do use this, but I use a million other things. So just keep that in mind. Watch some of my other videos. I keep giving tips. I had a really good tip tool that gave tips on the volatility, or basically how risky a stock was. So check that one of those videos that I have. You can punch in a stock and it'll tell you how risky it is compared to just the Dow in general, and then it gives it a number based on the risk of the stock. That's another tool you can use to see how risky a stock is when you're investing in it. So just keep this in mind that this is just another tool you can add. It's not the end all say all. So I just I always get the comments and stuff. This is a bad idea. You shouldn't just use this. Obviously, just use it as one tool and you'll be set. And really quickly, if you guys have tools just like this, go ahead and put them in the comments and stuff. I'll go ahead and make a video on them and show people what they're all about if you want me to. So go ahead, and if you have any tricks and stuff like that on investing stocks and how you do your research, go ahead and write it or drop me an email and we'll go from there. All right, guys, thanks again for watching. And if you can subscribe again, it'll help me out. Talk to you next week.